dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
Yo, it's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're talking about Dynamite, January 8th, 2025. Excalibur, Daddy, and Ian Riccaboni on commentary. Tony was off on assignment or something like that. We're in Clarksville, Tennessee. We started off with Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews, and man, this is my match of the night. Right off the bat, I enjoyed every bit of it, and I thought that the action was great. It was fast paced. You know, it's what this match needed to be. And I've been hearing rumors lately that Malachi Black is leaving, Buddy Matthews may be leaving, and you know, because his wife, I believe they're married, right? Now, I think they're married. His wife is the biggest star over there in WWE, and why not be with her in WWE? You know, because I bet their schedules are crazy, and they're really not together that much. But no, Will Ospreay then doing a promo after he shows Buddy Matthews some respect, real class, you know, and I was just like, yeah, oh man, I got to rewatch this match again because like it was so fast paced, and it's just one of those things of why I love AEW. Yes, there's problems. Yes, I understand. You know, people can be like, oh, it's just nothing but a bunch of spots, you know, spots, and this and that. But I'm just like, no, you gotta understand, like this is the stuff we used to search for. You know, we wanted something new. We wanted something outside of WCW. We wanted something outside of WWE. And then we got that awesome ECW. Then we found Ring of Honor. And then, you know, digging deep and trading tapes and just to get matches on this level. So I understand storytelling is the biggest problem for AEW. But Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews this week, I will say, is my match of the week in general because I enjoyed it that much. We got a Japan package because they had Wrestle Kingdom. They also had Wrestle Dynasty. I didn't think they were going to show much because they really didn't promote either or in the upcoming weeks, especially with Kenny Omega coming back in ring. And, you know, that I was just like, well, yeah. Then Private Party comes out, you know, they want to give a toast, and then the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and they're playing with them a little bit, and Bobby and MVP's like, yeah, toast, and Bobby's like, yeah, toast, and he goes, and toast to us being the new AEW tag team champions, and I was like, damn. Bobby just laying it out there. Private Party didn't like that, and then Bobby goes to the ring because he's going to take on Mark Briscoe. This was okay. Bobby got the win. It's just crazy how just the presence of Bobby in AEW, especially with the smaller people. And Mark's not a small guy, but I'm just saying, like, his presence, especially with MVP and Shelton Benjamin, like they want to hurt people. Is what I'm saying here. But of course, they do a beat down on Mark. And here comes Private Party with the chairs, and MVP intervenes, and he's just like, hey, you know, we want to make money with this, so we'll back off, we'll leave, but down the road, Bobby and Shelton are going after those AEW Tag Team Championships. And speaking of new champions, the Young Bucks are out there now with Tag Team Gold. Think about that. That's interesting upon itself. So that's what happened there. And I got to say, MVP on commentary was freaking great. He has that voice for it. He has that gritty voice, you know. So I think MVP on commentary some way in form down the road after this Hurt Syndicate business would be awesome. We get a men's casino gauntlet match. Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page versus Yuta versus Ricochet versus Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia versus Haas versus Roderick versus Lance versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Jeff Jarrett, who had to step out of the match at some certain point. But and the winner of this Casino Gauntlet is going to face Jon Moxley at Maximum Carnage next Wednesday for the AEW Championship. And in this, I was rooting for Jay White, but also too, in this sort of gauntlet sort of match, I was like, they're going to give it to somebody that maybe has a chance, but they're not going to let Moxley drop the title on TV. No, they're building. They have to build up the Revolution, or they're gonna have Moxley drop the championship at All In. And it's funny is we haven't even seen the championship. It's been locked in a briefcase. So, but Hobbs wins this thing, and my favorite thing about this is Renee comes in to Hobbs, and Hobbs is like, you know what? Let's do a little shoot here. Mox brought me here. You know, I'm here because of Moxley, but you best believe I'm gonna make Mox my bitch. Renee did not like that. Her reaction was like, what? I loved it so much. I was like, oh my God, make him his bitch? No. But then Jeff Jarrett comes back out. Hobbs shows a little love. And before Jeff Jarrett can speak, MJF comes out. And I'm just like, what is this? But, you know, Jeff Jarrett wants the AEW championship at some certain point. Guess he's only signed a contract for a year as an active wrestler. MJF, you know, pokes it a little bit. And he's like, hey, I'll help you get that championship if I'm first in line to get a shot at that championship. Jeff Jarrett says, hell no, does this thing. And I'm just like, okay, where are we going with this? You know, but that's besides the point. And then here comes Cope. You know, he's like, I broke my neck fighting Eddie Guerrero. I broke my foot, but guess what? I did. I always come back. And Moxley, and I'm just like, I don't care. Here comes Moxley and his cult. Then FTR comes out, and then Moxley takes out Cope, and then they get the numbers game on them, and you know, and the freaking bag comes out. I'm just like, oh, gonna murder Cope before this. You know, I'm hoping somebody, when they do that spot, hoping somebody doesn't have like dire breathing issues because they really want to showcase that bag is going to kill you, and they almost try to do that. So the Mox cult. But Hobbs comes out, scares them all away. So, and then we end there. We get a Mariah promo, and Harley's there. I love Harley. Harley is my favorite, like, human being. She just has that energy. And she says, yeah, we can fight Mariah. You can feel my wrath. She's like, what'd you say? She's like, what did you say? It's like, no, nothing. So I think they set up a match between these two. Then we get a women's number one, not number one, but who's going to get into the women's gauntlet match is going to happen next week, and they're going to face Mariah May at did they say Australia, Grand Slam Australia? I think so. They announced it back in 2024. So, but it was Willow versus Tony versus Chris. I was very surprised. Chris Statlander got the win. It's not Tony time. It's not even Willow time. It should be Willow time. And Chris, I like Chris Statlander. I think she's cool, but I don't, you know, and I got to see what other women are in that match. And, you know, but Chris Statlander got it. Then Renee goes with Tony, and Tony's sad. And I don't like sad Tony. I don't like sad Tony at all. But she says, hey, you know, it's not Tony time. Next time, Chris Statlander, she deserves it, you know, this and that. And she walks away sad, and I'm sad. I'm very sad. I was like, no, Tony, you don't deserve this. As much as I'm enjoying her not remembering this past month and everything like that. So, and I don't know. I just feel bad for Tony Storm. And then we get Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's huge return back here in AEW. And I got to say, I was like, this is awesome, man. There's so many, like, roads and we can do and this and that. And guess what happens? Don freaking Callis happens, and I'm not excited about it at all whatsoever. I was just like, really? Of all things we could have done with Kenny Omega, with all the paths we could have taken this man down upon, you're still going to tie him in with the Don Callis BS. Oh, I was so frustrated. And then Kenny chases after Don Callis, and of course, here comes the Don Callis family, the goons and whatnot. But Will Ospreay saves Kenny Omega, and that was pretty cool. And we got those two in the ring, and they have a little moment. And then as Kenny grabs the mic, they're like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. That was Dynamite. And I was like, oh, you just cut him off. But they did air on their YouTube channel what Kenny said to the crowd, you know, and he talked about, on the actual show, he talked about, you know, the medical procedures and everything like that, and how, you know, if he didn't go to the doctor, he would have died from it, and we didn't want that, you know. But he says he's back now. He can't do everything he used to do, but this is a new Kenny Omega, and he's ready. And he lets us know, even afterwards, he tells the crowd, like, hey, I'm here. There's a locker room full of talent there, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm here, and I'm here to and his first match is going to be against Brian Cage. It was funny. There was a really great moment. He said, hey, Justin, like, did you ever show the card? He's like, yeah, you have a match next week. He goes, oh, well, hey, guys, guess what? We got a match next week at Maximum Carnage. And he's going to face Brian Cage. He's like, really throw me to the wolves, guys. I was just like, damn. But it's good to have Kenny Omega back, you know. And then we have Revolution that we're building towards. I'm interested to see what they do with Hobbs and Moxley. And now that we know Cope is after that championship, and I'm just like, no. We should have a Will Ospreay going after that championship. We should have, heck, no, I don't want Bobby Lashley. Like, I want like a Adam Cole. I want MJF. You know, I want Kenny Omega. You know, let's get some actual people that I want to see champion at some certain point. Not Hangman, no. There's a lot of things on the table, and I just don't understand where we're going. Like, what's the end game, especially with John Moxley and his cult. I'm not calling them the Death Riders. I just call them the Crazy Cult of Moxley. Hey, the Crazy Cult of Moxley. There we go. You bow to the Mox. But yeah, I just don't understand. But overall, I got to say, this was a fun Dynamite, despite the few things that I was just kind of like, ugh. But match of the night is Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews. That, hands down, just freaking awesome, man. I give the show a solid 3 out of 5, and that is Dynamite, January 8th, 2025. I put 29. Why did I do? I don't know. In Clarksville, Tennessee, Excalibur Daddy, Ian Riccaboni on commentary, and Ian got the rap. Yeah, that made me happy. Ian got to do his Willow Nightingale rap, and I was just like, I was like, yeah, you spit them bars, Ian. I just wish your other partner in crime was here as well, but he wasn't. So, but that's it. That's all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
But next week, I plan on shocking the world, but not only doing that, I'm going to make John Moxley my bitch.